Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Phulgoth's Shudderhood, and we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar with it. Now, we're going to take a look at how we can use this particular box set to start a Maggotkin of Nurgle army. Now, this box set is for a Regiment of Renown, and the Maggotkin of Nurgle themselves can't include the Regiment of Renown with the Maggotkin of Nurgle units in it, but what they can do is they can just use these models inside their own army as per normal. So that's exactly what we're going to do with this video. We're going to take a look at this box set, talk about all the units that come inside it and the options they have, and briefly what they do on the tabletop as well, before having a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial box set. We'll then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own army of the Maggotkin of Nurgle using Phulgoth's Shudderhood box set. And so, to begin with, first of all, this box set is led by a brand new character that is the Harbinger of Decay. We have 7 wounds with a 3+ save, and the model has its mount, which is its cool little demonic horse. Now, we then have a few special rules. We've got the Shatter Blight, where at the start of the combat phase, or Battle Shock phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit and roll a dice. On a 3+, the unit cannot issue or receive commands in that phase. This is just super good straight from the get-go. Toll of the Doom Bell. If this unit carries a Doom Bell once per battle in your hero phase, it can toll the bell, and if it does so, enemy units within 14 inch when it tolls it are filled with despair until your next hero phase. The following effects will apply to units filled with despair. They'll subtract 1 from their move, run, and charge rolls. Lastly, we have Omens of Decay, which is a prayer on the model as it is a priest. This has an answer value of 3 and a range of 14. If answered, you can pick an enemy unit within range and subtract the current battle round number from that unit's bravery characteristic until the end of the round. Now, you do have a couple of options here where you'll have either the option for the Plague Scythe or the Doom Bell. The Plague Scythe is going to give you a flat damage 3 rather than a D3, but for me, I think the once per game ability to really muck around with your opponent's movement is probably my own personal way to go. Now, looking into the rest of the box set, the first of the units we have inside here are the Putrid blightkings. These are a pure battle line unit option we have for the Maggotkin of Nurgle, and they're going to provide you with 4 wounds and a 4+ save each, and the champion actually has an extra wound. 5 attacks per model with 3s and 3s, run 1, damage 1 is really nice, allowing you to get plenty of disease out of these units with a high volume of attacks. And they can also do some mortal wounds at the end of their combat phase as well. The last unit in here is actually a dual kit, and an interesting one. So you can build 2 Pusgoyle blightlords out of this kit, or you can choose to build one of the models as a Lord of Afflictions as well, which is a character option for the Maggotkin of Nurgle. Now, the Lord of Afflictions is going to take up one of the models, obviously, in the kit, and when you take one of these in your force, you're actually allowed to take a single model unit of a Pusgoyle blightlord as well. But let's talk about the Lord of Afflictions first. This is going to be a pretty hardy model with 8 wounds and a 3+ save. The Fester Pike is its main weapon with 4 attacks at 3s and 3s, rend 1 and damage D3. You also have the Incubatch, which actually does mortal wounds, even to nearby Nurgle units. It's that deadly. Rack and Ruin as well will, after this unit finishes a charge move, allow you to deal some mortal wounds. You also have the Swarm Descends, where during deployment, instead of setting this unit up on the battlefield, you can use it and some of your flying units, either Pusgoyle blightlords or Plague Drones, to take them off the table and put them into reserve and bring them on in during the game. Now, the Putrid blightlords themselves, they are going to have 8 wounds each with a 4+ save. They're blighted weapons. They're effectively going to be Putrid blightkings, but on giant rotflies. They do some mortal wounds as well when they charge, and they're also going to do some mortal wounds after they fight as well, with the Relentless Attackers rule, same as the Putrid blightkings. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so the next unit I want to talk about are the Rotmire Creed. Now, this unit can become battleline if you're playing in the Blessed Suns subfaction, which is pretty cool, enabling us to have a much cheaper unit as a battleline option. For 150 points, it's going to allow us to get a mortar unit at, a decent cost. And they have 1 wound each and a 5+ save, but don't forget you've got the Disgusting Resilient 5+ ward in there as well. And their big thing is the Virulent Concoctions, where this unit is led and included in a Maggotkin of Nurgle army. Each time a disease point is given to an enemy unit from an attack made by this unit, each other enemy unit within 3 inch of that enemy unit is also given a disease point. The same unit, though, can't be affected by this ability more than once per phase. Now, the cool thing about them is they have their blowpipes, so they've got a 14-inch range 2-shot ranged weapon, which really does allow them to spread out the disease. The Witherlord as well will get an extra wound in there, and you can have one of them in there for each of the 10 models in the unit, which is really nice. They're cultists as well, and they're going to be immortal units, and just going to provide you with a nice, cheap unit that can really spread some disease around your opponent's army. Now, the other character I want to talk about adding into this force is the Rotbringer Sorcerer. They have a really cool thing, because we're going to talk about the Endless Spells briefly as well, and these two things go hand in hand. Rotbringer Sorcerers actually have a cool thing, Tainted Endless Spells, where if they ever summon an Endless Spell, the Endless Spell will effectively counter to Maggotkin of Nurgle unit for the purposes of generating disease points. So some of the larger base Endless Spells, things like Suffocating Gravetide or Prismatic Palisade, or even Ravnax Gnashing Jaws, or multiple sort of base ones, things like the Soul Shackle gauntlets there, will be really fun at trying to generate a whole bunch of extra disease. On top of that, they have the Stream of Corruption spell, which is some nice mortal wound damage dealing. Now, lastly, for the Maggotkin of Nurgle, we've got Plague Bearers here mentioned, but demons in general, I think, are something really interesting to pick up. You can summon demons throughout the game with your Maggotkin of Nurgle army as you generate some of your corruption points, so having a few units of demons of different varieties on hand can be a really useful thing. And so here we have our sample army list for the Maggotkin of Nurgle. Now we've gone with the sub-faction Blessed Sons. This is going to allow us, first of all, to take Rotmire Creed as a battle line option, which really does help us sort of get more models into the force and indeed have more options to play around with at that first 1,000 points. But also, with the Blessed Sons, if a friendly Blessed Sons mortal model is slain within an inch of an enemy, before removing that model, you can pick an enemy unit within an inch and roll the number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic of said model that has been removed, and for each 6, you can add a disease point to the enemy unit. Now, on top of this, we've gone for the grand strategy Spread Rampant Disease, which means at the end of the game, every enemy unit left on the table has to have disease on it, though we still complete this grand strategy if there are no enemy units left on the table to have disease. Now, our leader is going to be the Harbinger of Decay, and we've gone the command trait of Grandfather's Blessing. I really like this command trait. This allows us once per battle to move the cycle of corruption around. It can be really good for either doubling down on a turn we want, setting up for a turn potentially earlier, or if we get a bad roll to begin with. It can be really, really helpful. We'll then have a generic prayer. Now, Curse might seem like the obvious option when you've got generic prayers to pick from, but the issue with this is that you can only trigger one ability, and so having Curse there just doubles down on triggering our ability to potentially get disease points. We're already getting disease, so we're already probably getting mortal wounds through. So instead, we've gone for Guidance, which can give us an extra command point, which is pretty cool. We then have a Rotbringer Sorcerer with Blades of Putrefaction, and what this one does is allows us to generate disease points with a unit we cast this spell on 5s or 6s rather than just 6s. We then have for Battle Line our 5 Putrid Blightkings and 10 Rotmire Creed, and then we've got the Pusgoyle blightlords in there with the Dolorous Toxin in the unit as well. Lastly, we've got an Endless Spell. We've chucked in Suffocating Gravetide, which is a nice big base to really help spread out some extra disease points with the Endless Spell coming out, of course, from the Rotbringer Sorcerer. With a perfect 1,000 points this gives us on the nose, so if you've got some ideas on how to start your Maggotkin of Nurgle army with this Shudderhood box set, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fun little community, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description, and also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from our Teespring store as well. All of those are linked down in the video's description, and a special thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. We'd like to give you all a shout out, so thank you to our YouTube members John Castle, Disco, James Tillman, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Ariana Edwards, Broken Chef, the Johnny84, Locklor Eric, Ronya, Green Roots Gaming, and our patrons Wasarin, Kenny Lyle, Out on Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.